So this is actually a recording I'm using for dictation for my the next basically the book that I'm supposed to be writing. I've been spending a lot of time talking about writing the nonfiction book because of the fact that I want to be able to use it to kind of like default, like create like some sort of like foundation for people to start listening to things I'm talking about, and also to kind of create a blog like type of content on a regular basis, so it could just help me to kind of organize on what I want to actually do on these social media. And one of the things I'm actually talking about today is creating your legacy on a budget. A lot of people may not understand the idea of a legacy. They might think that you have to kind of like own like, you know, I don't know, like a country or something, or you have to be a president of the United States, or you have to be some sort of like, I don't know, you have to be some sort of, special person in power and whatnot. And one of the things I feel like is important to kind of have is just a way of practicing conveying your thoughts and your ideas and researching information that interests you, and then being able to see how well you understand it is a way of it's great for you to practicing whether you're understanding the information that is coming your way. So, but conveying that information is something I've seen a lot of people do on like YouTube, podcasts, some social media platforms, blogging, and you get a chance to really see whether or not one, people can understand you, people agree with you, or they don't agree with you. And when I say about doing it on a budget, it's because right now we have so many, tools at our disposal. One of them is actually being able to use our phones that are pretty much super powerful, devices. Like right now, I just went and bought the iPhone 11 Pro, and it's great. And I've been using it, the wide lens on my from one of my workout videos. I've been just working out, just keeping track of it. I realize that it's helpful, being able to do that. And I'm using this microphone right now to kind of have a higher quality of wording, so I can use the transcribing tool to help people to understand a little bit what I'm saying and be able to convert it to writing, to convert it to type text. So I think that one of the reasons why people don't really get in touch or doesn't really get started with doing these type of things is because they don't think that what they have is valuable, or they feel like it's too much work, But I actually think it's important that everybody has one. I really think that if one person, for instance, if you're very religious and you read the Bible and you want to, everybody should be talking about it in a way that they can convey it. But I think that takes some time, Some people may not have the skill to do that. But then I feel like if you don't really have the skill to do that, then that should be what you actually talk about, like what you don't have and what you try to achieve. And being able to do that really helps get the idea, clear in your own mind. My mind tends to become much more clearer by doing this. I actually like this idea. I feel like it helps me to build something that could be a part of the internet, in some shape or form. I've already been using, for example, Facebook. I started Facebook in 2005. Before that, I had MySpace, and I had MySpace for a few years before getting Facebook, and it was called The Facebook, and I was still getting it. And I don't really, I didn't keep track of a lot of things, but it was actually I got the first wave of Facebook accounts I actually had was, I had my account for school. So I was able to use my school ID, and I was able to give people I knew, my Facebook account. I don't really remember having too many people I know on there. I'm looking on there right now and trying to see the early posts. I might even maybe, do a small, vlog about my early posts just to find out what I was talking about back then. but it was more about just inside excited about it. Now today, I know that there are some people who are not necessarily excited about using Facebook or using any social media, but I don't know how we're gonna get around it. You know, if you use your phone's video pictures, or if you have a phone at all connected to the internet or even your computer, you are giving some data away. You know, you may want to find out what you are interested in personally, or what you can look at your data and you can find out what people are interested in that are like you. You know, there's so many ways that you can benefit from having that data and keeping a log of it for free. That's one thing. I know I'm not, what I'm basically trying to say is that I have not gotten to a point where I can see that, okay, if you know, if I give too much information about me, I could be controlled. You know, I feel like at this point, what you do is that I'm just talking about the things that interest me, that I know people around me. I would want to be around people who like the things I like, you know. So that would be a great way to start to have a conversation. You know, that would be a great way to start sharing information online. You know, there's a few books I've been reading that were very much just like that. One of the books I was reading recently was Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, which is pretty much a book that he talks about the foundations of being a good person and where it actually strives from, and his take on it personally with his own life, and how he was able to find a lot more people. He became more known, I think, nationally or internationally, mostly in the Western civil society, I think, about, you know, society, about, you know, faith, intellectualism. He talks about a lot about psychoanalysis. He talks about like white privilege and how that doesn't exist, and he kind of, his book was really much about it kind of had like a framework very similar to, like, you know, 21 Lessons of the Century, or the 48 Laws of Power, very simple things like that. And that model was great, you know. I actually like that type of reading. And another book was Neil deGrasse Tyson's book, from Black Hole, and you know, and oh no, I actually forgot the book. He made two books, and he also does a lot of podcasting too, where he kind of like tries to educate the world by giving them thought-provoking topics to talk about, and he actually wraps it around with comic relief, you know. And you know, those are some great things I actually like about, you know, those type of books, or that type of like communicating with your audience. Malcolm Gladwell, he read a book called Outliers and Talking with Strangers. Those are the two books that I've actually have read that have been able to kind of bring a mindset for writing and communicating that I think that we can do now. You know, that's actually what I was actually trying to get to in this conversation. We are given a medium to talk to about ourselves in a way that we never had before. That is one of the things that I like about this society. It's not about me being so popular. It's the fact that I can present my ideas to the world in a way that they're used to, you know. And it also helps me to learn how to communicate. I think that's just important as well. You know, I'm not necessarily like an expert on it, but like many people aren't, you know. And you can videotape yourself doing different things and talking, and the good that comes from being able to talk about your life and to talk about your beliefs and your goals and your and the things that you want to, you know, what things that you would like to be changed, things that you don't agree with, you can also talk about as well. But you can have it in a way where you can listen. You can actually watch the feedback come in and know what people are listening to you and when people aren't listening to you. for me, I actually think it's a great idea. I wish I would have done it for college, where I went ahead and read a book. For example, I read a book that was about what was it? Let me see. Okay, like I'm reading these books about understanding how algorithms are, you know, the fundamental concepts of algorithms in computer science, and being able to read it, to answer some of the questions is one thing, and get the teacher's response. But then if I went ahead and I was able to kind of talk about what I think about it in like under 5 minutes, and then be able to kind of draw out something I've done in the homework and see if that helps somebody, whether it is now or a year or two from now, or even years from now, is something that I get a chance to kind of see when I'm talking about things. I have some stuff online right now that I have like, at least I think the earliest thing I have of like video online on YouTube is my conversation. No, actually, it's actually, was it earlier? I think it was earlier than that. But that one was where I was actually facing the camera like this, and I was talking about my review of Man of Steel and what I actually liked about the movie. And I'll have the link if you want me to. If somebody wants it in the comments, I'll give that to you. But it was just about me. I wanted to do the YouTube thing. I wanted to be able to kind of share some things online. There are some people who may think that, oh, you're just looking for attention, or you're just looking for some people just want to look for an outlet. I think it's a matter of both. I mean, I think it's like, I wish I can have like more deeper conversations about the things that I'm looking to learn more about, or what I think I know already, and try to see if I can get other people's perspective on it, whether it's a perspective that I agree with, a person I don't agree with. But being able to talk about things on a platform that really helps me is one of the reasons why I actually started to use Facebook in the first place. But Facebook isn't really that way anymore. I think everybody's kind of like, at least everybody that I know online has pretty much distanced themselves from Facebook. And it becomes really aggravating because of the fact that you can't tell if the person's online because they like talking online, or they're not online because they're not talking to you. You can't really tell anymore. But when I first used Facebook, back when I was watching Man of Steel, you could put up anything and people were constantly laughing and stuff like that, and engaging with people and stuff. And I really think it's important to kind of, maybe now in this whole entire book, is to try to hone in on the things I'm looking to do, and try to find a way to convey it in a way that people can read it when they want to. I can give people the time to pick up what I'm trying to say and listen to it. Or maybe like if you went ahead and you want to work another job or anything like that, and you want to make sure that your principles aligned with people that you are working with, that's great. That's actually, that will actually save you a lot of time, and your future colleagues. And because this way you don't have to worry about aligning yourself with them. Now there could be people who may try to hurt you or do things that's insecure, but I really don't think that's not likely. I think that most likely you'll get people who are going to be really interested in talking to you, and people who don't, they just don't. They may try to say something to you online and stuff, but you can always follow the right channels to make sure that if you're gonna sign it, like if you're gonna work for a company, you can always look at the company's policies and see who works there, and see if they listen to they listened to you in the future, or I mean, have they listened to you in the past. So I do think this is really important. I really want to try to use it as a way to discuss a lot of things that I think is important to discuss. But if you don't want to get political, you don't have to. I'm not really looking to get political, but I do want to have conversations about like what I think is going on right now in society, why I think being online is really important, and the best way to actually start getting people to pay attention to you and take you seriously is by you being consistent with content, and being able to share information that brings people to your I guess, bring people to your channel or to your blog or to your to their screen. and be able to kind of understand what you're trying to say, you know. And I'm probably gonna end it here. I'm probably gonna keep it at 15 minutes. I do. I probably will continue this again with another clip with something else and continue it. But I want to continue continuing to work on these particular series of videos of like understanding how to create your own legacy on a budget. So talk to you next time.